Hey, good morning. Good to see some people at least today here, because I guess the first talk is always the hard one to wake up to. So I'll talk about open money, open world, what we are building in crypto, and what is crypto good for anyway. So first off, for those that don't know me, I'm Lefteris. I've been in Ethereum since 2014, working for the foundation, back then in Solidity compiler and C++ client. I created, along with Christoph Jens, the DAO, and then helped with the cleanup afterwards. I'm sorry for that. Then I worked in Raiden, which is something like the Lightning Network is to Bitcoin. That was for Ethereum. And I'm the founder of Rodkey, an application that manages your portfolio. So what's crypto good for anyway, right? So when somebody asks what is crypto, they all think of this guy, the crypto king. So everybody says crypto is just scams. You ask, let's say I talked with my mom and she says, oh yeah, I saw these dog coins, or yes, this hack, that's crypto. You just go there and lose money. It's all about gambling. Everything is hyper-financialized. Everything is a casino. What's worse, and what has attracted them, the eye of and the big reach of the US is criminal enterprises using crypto in order to launder money. So this is the image of crypto outside, and we are all to blame because we have things like FTX and Celsius and Nexus, all of these centralized exchanges that somehow have been identified to be crypto. Then we have influencers like BitBoy, whatever his name is, Friendtech, where you buy and sell shares of your friends, for heaven's sake. Then we have hacks and phishing scams. This is what crypto is to the average person outside of this room. Whenever you talk to someone that has no idea about what this field is, this is what they will tell you. And this is really bad. Then what is crypto good for anyway, actually? What are we here for? Well, it's a permissionless and unstoppable ledger. Those two words are the very essence of crypto, permissionless and unstoppable. This unlocks so many applications. We can do zero-fee cross-border payments with crypto. Sounds boring, but it's actually extremely powerful. We can have transparency in government, and it helps with coordination. I'm going to visit those one by one and talk about permissionless and unstoppable, which is what is something that I'm really passionate about. You talk with everybody in the street and also in Twitter, crypto Twitter, and they tell you you do not need this. We have laws. We are lawful citizens. We have governments. They protect us. The problem is, even in Western democracies, we are all one election or maybe two elections away from a totalitarian dictatorship being installed in our country and having every part of our lives controlled. Even liberal governments, just like Trudeau in Canada, have gone to extreme, such as freezing bank accounts of their citizens, just to punish them for protesting. You should never need permission to use your own money. This is something that crypto is built upon, and something that is really unlocked through crypto. You probably have bank accounts. You've had a transfer or two being blocked, getting an email, getting a phone call. What are you spending this money on? Why are you doing this transfer? We have blocked it because we want to ask you some questions. This is extremely common in the banking industry, and it's scary as hell. What's worse, many in crypto especially, we have had to face our bank accounts being closed because they are associated with crypto, and it's too risky for them. So they can just tell you, okay, we no longer service you, you can't have access to your money. And in general, you should never ever be held hostage and be told how your money should be used, like with the CBDC dream that the central banks have, that you will have a quota, and depending maybe on your sexual orientation, your race, or whatever, you will be able to spend a specific amount of money or not. Something that is also really, really important in crypto, but boring, and people don't even think about it. Whenever I talk to outsiders, they say, payments are solved. You just make a SEPA transfer. What more do you need? Cool, yeah, the SEPA network is something that's really beautiful. But the world is bigger than Europe. When you want to pay someone outside, as had we in Rodki, for example, with someone in Nepal for a freelance contract, you start to figure out that it's not easy. If they don't accept crypto, what do? You try to find, does my bank send to this country? No. Okay, PayPal then, 6% fee. What? Are you serious? Okay, then more research. There is something called WISE, 1 to 2%. Okay, this kind of works. But then to send something on the amount of, I don't know, 2 or 3K, about a month of support requests back and forth with them actually unleashing this money from our bank account to the guy's bank account. 1 month. With crypto, I would have paid no fees, and I would have sent an instant transaction. This is extremely powerful, and though payments are boring, I really think that this is probably the biggest power of crypto. So, government. Transparency in government is something that is really powerful in crypto, because you can have, you cannot hide anything in the public blockchains. This is bad for individuals, but it's great for government. You can see where is your tax funding being spent. You can do bureaucratic stuff like get a notarized document that, I don't know, you're married to someone, or that your the birth certificate of your child, all online. Like, this is all ideal. This doesn't exist right now. If you have had to deal with bureaucracy of in the EU, or if you live in one, was born in another, got married in another one like me, then this nightmare of multi-month talking to various amts could be solved in a nice and transparent way, and could eliminate corruption. Because when you can see how funding is spent and how decisions are made, then nobody can hide. And the problem of coordination. Here we famously in crypto say we are here to slay Moloch, right? The god of coordination failure. We have various on-chain mechanisms that are transparent, and through the use of various incentives, try to all coordinate together to solve problems. Like you can see the various DAOs, the governance systems that we have created, and it's all being experimented on. Okay, so that's great. This sounds very promising, all these 4 bullet points. Why isn't it used by people outside? Why every time it's the same faces? I've been in this field like 2014, yeah, 10 years, right? Why haven't the general public actually started using it? Well, we're all to blame, because what most people actually do here is they normalize scammy behavior to lure retail. This is so standard in this field. Instead of focusing on the 4 bullet points that I talked before, we seem to just focus on, I don't know, meme coins, points. No, this is the new thing. Social media that is all based on tips. So you just go and beg for, please give me degen, please give me degen. Oh, good, tip, 10 degen. So we have a culture of like talking a lot. If you go in CT, in crypto Twitter, everybody's talking and saying, oh yeah, we're here for this, we're here for that. We're all so passionate about this. But when you actually look at their actions, you see that it's all just bullshit. We talk the talk, but not walk the walk. And this has made regulations that are hostile against us, and governments that see crypto as just scams. And this is something that's a feedback loop that is getting worse and worse. What's even more dangerous is that the 4 bullet points that I showed actually have a problematic side. So flawed protocol design of base protocols that can lead to eventual centralization and capture is one. And second, that when everything is open, this is good for transparent governance, right? But it's terrible for individual privacy. Everything is open, and it's a totalitarian regime's wet dream. What do I mean when I say flawed design and centralization? So you've probably heard and seen about the various complaints in crypto Twitter lately about, especially this thread by Peter, about how small decisions here and there seem to gather, and we end up with a protocol that We wanted to design in a way that is good and helpful for the people, but when you start taking every single shortcut that you can, like he mentions here, like if is the hardware requirements going up, okay, we just go to data centers. Gigagas, then MEV, no problem. We just use MEV boost. We democratize it. Other thing is gas high, remove logs. We just go to shadow logs. Instead of actually building something that is useful, we just try to serve the needs of the few, which is the stakers. Just be as fast as possible. Don't care about decentralization. Don't care who will use this later. But if you move a lot of the important functionality of Ethereum to centralized services, you will end up with TradFi. And this is something extremely dangerous, because it's not one decision. But if every time that you have a technical decision, you have, okay, shortcut, or actually do it the hard way, and you take the shortcut every single time, you will end up with a worse system than TradFi. So what can we do? We can try to think in a long term, right? We should go back to the cypherpunk roots of crypto. Those people in the 90s, we weren't here for the meme coins or for the number go up culture, which is cringe as hell today. We should use long-term design thinking when designing protocols, not what will make the price of Ether go up in the next month. Who the fuck cares about the price of Ether in the next month? This is ridiculous. Don't take shortcuts. There was a discussion between idealism and pragmatism. There should be balance, for sure. But if you take the shortcut every single time that you're giving a decision, you are creating a flawed system that's worse than what you're trying to replace. And we need to have people that work for the protocol be well compensated. I'm not going to go into the discussion in Twitter about the advisorships and stuff, but we have systems, we have the Ethereum Foundation that can and should handle its researchers and pay them very well. But we also have systems like the Protocol Guild that are built to help fund the Ethereum development as in a credibly neutral way. Speak up, don't think about your bugs all the time. If your bugs go up or down in the next year, you shouldn't care. We're building something for the next 100 years. So walk the walk and don't just talk the talk. Yesterday, I sent 2 ETH as a donation to Protocol Guild. This is a Dune Analytics dashboard where they have the V2 thing. It's their V2 contract that splits it for 4 years, vesting to 173 researchers. I'm not Eigenlayer, but if everybody in this room, everybody that looks from the stream, slowly gives a bit. If you're a staker, I mean, you're making ETH every day, right? Just give as much as you can afford so that we have a credibly neutral protocol development team. The Protocol Guild is doing an amazing work, and I think that it's one of the solutions to staying credibly neutral in the protocol layer. Yeah, so this was all about the one problem that we have in blockchain. Then the other thing is privacy. It's scary as hell how everything is visible on chain. Everything you own is visible. Once I know a name for an address, you're done. They are criminalizing the ways that we have in order to hide this. So if you want to hide, you normally use a mixer, right? If you want to, okay, this address is doxed, I want to move it to somewhere else and not have everybody in this room, everybody out there know what address this is. But this is actually now being criminalized. So this is something that is really scary, and the lack of privacy is getting worse with the centralization in the protocol design. The more stuff you move outside to centralized servers, you leak more metadata. This is a famous example. I think that Sebastian will talk more about this in Gnosis VPN later. But if you know someone's address, you can do this neat trick. Do you know what a tracking pixel is? When they send you an email and they have a 1 pixel image and they can you leak your IP basically. So you have an address that's active and you want to see what's their IP. You send them an NFT. That NFT is rendered by a malicious server, and that server actually when you open your hotkey or your wallet or whatever, you will try to render the image, and in doing so, just leaking your IP. So decisions that end up centralizing the protocols also end up leaking metadata and losing privacy. What can we do? We can normalize end-user privacy. So privacy is not only for the paranoid, and privacy is not only for criminals. Everybody here has the right to have their public persona on-chain and their private persona on-chain. You should design software with privacy in mind. Use and support privacy-first approaches, like what we are building at Rotkey, for example, or the Gnosis VPN, Hopper, everything that tries to enable us to be to maintain our privacy. Really, really important. Support those who fight the legal battles to normalize privacy. There is multiple battlefields right now being fought. One in the Netherlands that we lost a very big battle with the indictment of Alexei, and also with the Romans in the US. Very soon their trial is on. So this will set precedents that will echo in the next decades and will affect our field very much. It should not be a crime to write open source code. So again, walk the walk, don't just talk the talk. This is the defense fund for Alexei and Roman. Here I also donated 2 ETH. If you want to help privacy, this is a very good thing to donate to. All right, so having presented the problems, I want to go to more dev-related solutions because, well, fuck, I'm a developer. I don't just talk. So I think that the solution to going forward is having applications that are what I call self-sovereign. What does that mean? We have the dApps, right? The open source Web3 dApps and all. But when the app is running in a server, it's not as good for you as you may think. We want something that's self-sovereign, that's basically giving you sole ownership over all the data and agency, so you can decide what will be shared, how much, and with whom. You also want the ability to audit the code, right? You want to be able to understand what it does and to see if the developer is bullshitting. The way to achieve this is with local-first software. This is a seminal paper by Martin Kleppmann. Wait, this is bad. Yeah, okay. This Martin Kleppmann, really cool guy. They have an event next week here. I don't have a ticket. Everything is sold out. I'm really sad. If you have a ticket, please send me on. It's a set of principles for software that enables collaboration and ownership for users. The TLDR is this. This is Martin Kleppmann. We keep the majority of the functionality local. All the data is stored locally. You focus on privacy and security for the user. And it's not like you don't contact the network. This is impossible in this day and age. But not every single keystroke will be a round trip to a server. Self-sovereign applications also should be open source. Because open source is magic, open source is amazing. What does open source give you? It gives you transparency. So you can actually read and understand what the code does and be sure that the developer is not lying to you. This is also given to you by source available code, not just open source. Open source also allows for community involvement and attraction of talent because you can not only just see the code, but you can fork it, you can edit it, you can republish it, you can actually build on it. This is what's different between open source and source available. And this way you get a lot of people involved. We at Rotkey have had so many people write code on the app that are not part of the external team, and this is just beautiful. This would not have been able to happen if it was just source available. Nobody just goes and gives code to someone that doesn't allow forking. With open source, you do not have also data capture and vendor lock-in, so you don't build walled gardens. And you encourage innovation, and generally, open source takes the world forward. If everybody wrote open source, I think that we would be in a much, much better world. I was talking with, there is a lot of discussion right now in Optimism. What is open source? Does the whole thing need to be open source? Does one license only satisfy the needs? Just like with decentralization, it's not a black or white thing. There can be parts that are closed in a code base. There can be parts that are source available. It really depends on a case-by-case basis. You can't just look at at the license file and say, okay, this good, open source, this bad, not open source. It's unfortunately not as simple as that. Yeah, so now I will go for more concrete examples and talk about what my team and I are building. We are building Rotkey. Rotkey is a portfolio management tool that protects your privacy. It's a self-sovereign, local-first open source application. TLDR. Everything is open source. Whatever I say about Rotkey, you can verify. If I'm lying, just go and look at the code and tell me where. We focus on the data being all local. It's a local application. Everything is owned by you. It gives you a bird's eye view of the portfolio. You see there's like a bird logo, so bird's eye view. It can track multiple exchanges, like here we have like Kraken, Coinbase, Binance, etc. And it can also track multiple chains and protocols, such as like staking, Ethereum, Ethereum normal, Gnosis chain, Arbitrum, even non-EVM like Polkadot, Kusama, etc. We also can track traditional finance, but this is not as nicely made because it's more manual. You just need to track your ETFs on your own, like add them, add the banks manually. But we want to create a tool that is basically allowing to manage your entire financial portfolio. And customizability is really important to us because everybody in this room, everybody that's looking from home is unique and has unique needs. And unfortunately, there is no one tool that will work well for everybody. So the point is to have a tool that will allow you to customize it as much as possible so that it can do as good work for you as possible. And we also have some P&L functionality. The history is a beautiful part of Rotkey. So it analyzes all of your history in all of the EVM chains, all of the exchanges, all of the non-EVM chains like Bitcoin, Substrate chains, Avalanche, and so on and so forth. And we have a set of open source decoders that anybody can contribute to, and they are very modular. And people can add more and more. And according to these decoders, we decode the activity of what you did, like, I don't know, like, claiming the donut thing and spending it for, what did I do here? Dumping op, yeah. And you can customize it. So if Rotkey doesn't understand what I did, I can just go and edit the event and write, okay, I did this. It's not just EVM events, as I said, it's like Substrate. You can see your exchange transactions, other events such as F-staking, and so on and so forth. We also do a profit-loss calculation. So after processing all the events, you can get how much you had a profit or loss, depending on what you did, and a per asset cost basis. You can take all this and export it in a CSV and import it in a spreadsheet, and then massage the data because it won't be 100% correct, and even share it with an accountant. The point, as I said, for self-sovereign apps is to take control. So you can customize how much privacy you want or don't want. If you run your own node, you can put it somewhere here. If you want other nodes to be queried, you can put them, and you can also say with what probability, like 20% this, 20% that, and the same for every single chain that we can support. You can also customize where do you get prices from, such as I don't know, CoinGecko. So first, if you have a manual price, just query the manual price, then CoinGecko, then DeFi Llama, or whatnot. You can just customize the order. The point is to own the data. So everything is local, but we're not a walled garden. You can manage the backups. You can export everything at any point, and it will be. So basically, everything is inside the database. Then you can also export the history data as a CSV. You can export the P&L as a CSV. I was talking with a friend here, and he was telling me, okay, I don't want my data to be with Rotkey. I want to be able to take it with me wherever and whenever I want. This is something that's really important to us. And if you have a premium subscription, we also allow you to sync your database, all encrypted, we don't see anything, and be able to sync between your laptop, let's say, and your desktop computer or various devices. So what's the vision for Rotki? I am forced to make this slide, and I will have to be repeating this slide, I guess, for years now, because we are not a tax tool. It's my fault for introducing it first as something that I made my taxes with, and then everybody says, okay, taxes, that's what Rotki is for. This is not what we are for. The vision is one of a management application, but also taxes are so hard and so difficult, and there is so many jurisdictions because we have users worldwide that it's basically impossible to tackle, in my humble opinion. So what's the vision then? You remember Mist? In German, it's a very bad word, but so it's not a really good word to give to an application. But the Mist browser was basically something that really echoed with me. It was way, way too early. It was way too early back then. It got discontinued. It had many flaws. But the vision of having a local application that explores the decentralized world and interacts with it, this is what I'm trying to build. Right now, you see Rotki more as a portfolio tracker, but we want to be an overall tool that manages both your DeFi and CeFi positions, but also an explorer that shows you the history of your own addresses much, much better than a blockchain explorer would, because the blockchain explorer does not have the specific information that you as an individual has. So this is the vision. There's many ways that we can do it. I just put some protocols that I like a lot. So how can you also combine TradFi with CeFi? If you know Monerium, it's also what powers Gnosis Pay underneath. It allows you, this is how the interface looks like. It allows you to move euro from the chain to the bank or from the bank to the chain. It has no fees, at least yet. And it all happens on chain. Normally, when you open the Blockchain Explorer, all you see is just, how does it appear? Like from the zero address to your address, there is some euro minted. If you open Rotki and you connect it with Monerium, you see something different. You basically see something like, okay, this address sent 2,400 euro via bank transfer to Rotki Solutions GmbH, this IBAN, and the memo for the transfer was this. So we get a lot more data because we have context for everything. So you can actually see all of the extra data that SEPA has on top of your EVM transactions. Gnosis Pay, this is like they have a stand here. It's a self-sovereign bank. It uses the safe. You can just take euro outside of DeFi and just put it into a grocery store. It's beautiful. This is how it looks like in their dashboard, but in Rotki right now it looks like this. So it doesn't have much more different than it would look like when you open the Blockchain Explorer. But we are working with their team to get an API to be able to show also the merchant data inside Rotki. So again, one place where everything you do with your finances is manageable from, and it's local and private. You are not using another server. Your data is not on someone's server. You are not in danger there, and this is extremely important. With literally every single other application, nobody is crazy enough to actually make local apps anymore. We are. And why? Because they are needed. I would never, ever trust this data with any centralized application. So the future of Rotki. As I said, active management. What does that mean? We do stuff from inside the app. This is like a concept from inside the app, like you want to sell ETH for euro. Then Rotki, because it has access to the exchanges and has access to the chain, it can say, okay, Kraken has this price, Coinbase this, Kausap on Gnosis say this, and then you just execute the trade, and it will be able to. This is not yet available. Do the swap for you. A better integration with TradFi, connect with actual banks, but in the meantime, we can start slower. With Monerium, this is actually possible. I can just make a PR and make it work today. To just see, okay, this is my Monerium account, this is my IBAN, this is my transactions, so a special Monerium view inside the app. And to be able to actually do transfers in SEPA transfers from inside Rotki. This is basically the vision. Of course, more chains, more protocols, and performance and speed improvements. So I'm generally running out of time, so I'm just going to close with a call to action. If you like what you heard here, if you identify with the vision that I'm talking about, and if you also like to walk the walk and not just talk, then we're hiring. We're mostly hiring Python developers, but we are looking at other languages like Rust because such a complicated system needs multiple daemons. So please apply. You don't need to start by applying. Actually, the place where we get the most applicants from is our open source contributors. It's open. Just come to our Discord. We have a special channel where you get help to develop. We will show you how to start with the code base. We really welcome external contributors. Yeah, we're a small team, so we don't have a marketing guy. I'm the guy, I guess. We don't have a marketing department. So all of you here and everybody watching from the stream, you are our marketing. So if you like Rodkey, use it daily and spread the word. Talk about it to other people. This is how, this kind of organic marketing is how we get more and more users. And we also have this premium subscription on Rodkey that unlocks these extra features like Monerium and all that, and unlocks also limits. And it's still quite cheap, I think 12 euros per month. This will change soon, so if you want to buy a subscription, now is the best time. And buying a premium subscription really helps us because it both validates our messages and gives us, well, funding to keep building open source, local first privacy tools for you. That's all, I guess. Thank you very much.
Lefteris, thank you for your great talk. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you for your great talk. Thank you for all that you do. Are there questions for Lefteris? We have a few minutes. Over here.
Thank you so much for the presentation. My question is, okay, was very clear the open finance, where we are going. So what I'm seeing here is in the crypto space is that a lot of like non-crypto people are coming close to crypto with centralized solutions such as like Revolut, or this kind of stuff, like having exposure to this world, but not being, at least yet, so much active in DeFi space or crypto-like space. So my question is, what is, in your opinion, the main drivers for, or the main products that can bring to a mass adoption within the crypto?
Okay, good question. So what are the products that can bring more adoption in crypto? So I don't think that anything like, I don't know what Revolut does with crypto, but if it's something like N26 that just allows you to, in your bank, also buy some crypto and not even be able to take it out, that's not helping at all. That is, I mean, just gambling basically, and I don't think this is good. So I actually really like the idea of combining, like bridging between traditional finance and DeFi, like Gnosis Pay and Monerium does. I think that this is actually a very nice on-ramp, both in the financial sense, but also in the user sense, because it's easier to understand, okay, so I swipe my card, oh, I now actually made a payment on-chain. What is on-chain? Okay, so I can see it on the Blockchain Explorer. Oh, I can see it on my Rodkey. Okay, now I understand. So this is probably a way to start. And then from there on, try to see those 4 bullet points in the beginning that I said. Why are we here? Because this is the juice of what we are here for. But unfortunately, I'm really not a marketing guy. I don't know how to do that well. But probably going between those on-ramps like Gnosis Pay and Monerium can really help get new users.
Are there questions for Lefteris up here?
Hi. You had this nice slide with we can audit the code and so on. Point I see, the user cannot audit the code. Like you cannot dismantle the engine when you barely can count the cylinders. How can we convince the user or show the user that our app has integrity, that it works correctly, and so on? Any ideas on that?
So, so if the user cannot audit the code, how can they be able to know that it is indeed doing what it says? That's a good question. The always answer that I give to this is maybe that user can't, but they should then find someone who can actually audit the code. When enough people actually use something, there is way too many people actually looking at this code. We are not a huge application. We have like, I don't know, 5K maybe, 10K users. We don't have tracking, so I can't really tell you. These are just from various analytics that we try to do. But even this kind of people, so many issues have been made in our repository saying, hey, here in this code, you are actually, this setting was set to true, and you actually made an external connection while this setting was supposed to protect it. You are lying here, please fix it. So people are looking at code as long as there is users. If there isn't users, nobody will look at it. But you as a user don't need to be able to personally look at it, but others will. This is what the transparency of open source is about.
That's all the time we have for questions. Please use Rocky. It's an amazing tool. Thank you so much, Lefteris. Please give it up.